This Gardevoir EX deck with Budew has been absolutely crushing me on the ladder. Budew appears in almost every deck now because of its ability to slow down your opponent, which is perfect for Gardevoir that usually wants to set up a little bit slower. This deck has an answer for just about anything, which is one of the reasons it just got first place at the San Antonio Regionals. It's doing well in Japan and looks like it still might be relevant after rotation, so if you can't beat it, might as well join it. So while this deck is very versatile and a lot of fun to play, there's a large learning curve into getting used to it, as you'll see in today's video as I make many mistakes, which is kind of funny watching it back, but hopefully you can learn from some of the silly things that I do. But how does it work? So Gardevoir EX's Psychic Embrace ability will attach psychic energy from your discard pile to your psychic Pokemon, and every time you attach an energy in this way, you put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. So you'll want to use your 2 main attackers in this deck of Drifloon and Screamtail. They are single prizers, which is great to put forward, so you can take big damage or do big damage and only take a single prize knockout in return. So Balloon Blast, that's fun to say 5 times fast, Balloon Blast, does 30 damage for each damage counter you put on this Pokemon. So if you put 60 damage counters, it'll do up to 180 damage, or if you find a tool and put Bravery Charm on it, that does plus 50 HP, you can do up to 300 damage by putting damage counters on Drifloon and knock out almost anything in the format. And there's a couple different ways to modify that damage, as we'll see here in a second. Screamtail also is here with Roaring Scream, and that does 20 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Doesn't have to be the active one, but without any Bravery Charm or anything like that, you can put 160 damage just anywhere on the board. You can take out a Squawk ability with 160 damage, or just put some damage down to modify in the future. Now we also have a Munkidori in this deck, or a couple Munkidori, because with Mind Bend, if you put a Dark Energy on the Pokemon, you can move 30 damage counters from your own Pokemon to your opponent. So you're going to be adding damage counters with Gardevoir and then sending it to your opponent with Munkidori, and you can use this in addition to Drifloon's attack, to Screamtail's attack, or even Gardevoir's. Gardevoir does 190 damage, so you can do 220, which will take out a couple basic Pokemon, or if you have several Munkidori, you can do even more. Now the setup to get to Gardevoir is the Ralts. We have the one with 70 HP for right now. That one will be rotating at some point, and then Kirlia as well. So Kirlia is going to be your draw engine. You'll use Refinement here to discard a card, hopefully an energy, and then draw 2 more cards. So a good way to get more cards on your way to building a Gardevoir. And that's why this deck is so slow. We're not using rare candies in here. We're going to hope to put a Budew forward while we set up, so you can keep your opponent from playing too many items, lock them out from doing too much of what they want to do as you set up your Kirlias and your Gardevoir. We have some other interesting psychic Pokemon in here like Flutter Mane. So the Midnight Fluttering ability, as long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, your opponent's active Pokemon have no abilities. So you can shut off your opponent's active Pokemon's ability and also do 90 damage at a time, plus 2 damage counters onto their bench, so that can be effective, as well as Klefki. And Klefki will keep all basic Pokemon from using their abilities. It'll also keep you from doing your own abilities, so use this wisely. But this is a good card to open up with sometimes to not allow like a Rotom to work or a Fezandipity. Just keep some of your opponent's abilities from having an effect on the game. We also have a Manaphy in the deck while we still have it before it rotates to keep any attacks from damaging your bench. And then we also have a Radiant Greninja in here to help discard some energy and for some draw support in the early game. I tried to go without the Radiant Greninja for a little bit, but I think you need it just in case. You don't always use it, but sometimes it comes in handy. And I believe that's all of the Pokemon for now, so we'll move on to some items. We have 4 Buddy Buddy Poffins, so you can find 2 of your basic Pokemon with 70 HP or less, so very helpful to have 4 of those in the deck. We have 2 Counter Catcher to hopefully help come back if we go behind at some point in the game, which early on we go down 1 prize card, but this helps come back a little bit. We have 2 Earthen Vessel to make sure you can discard your energy and grab it using our Gardevoir EX. We have 1 Heavy Ball. There's a couple 1-ofs in this deck. There's 1 Drifloon, 1 Flutter Mane, 1 Klefki, 1 Screamtail. So Heavy Ball comes in handy a good amount of the time. We have a Nest Ball to be able to find something like a Radiant Greninja or your Munkidori or something like that whenever needed. We have a couple Night Stretcher in the deck to get some things back. So if you have a Gardevoir get knocked out, but a Kirlia on the bench, you can just use your Night Stretcher, get your Gardevoir right back, and continue doing work. We have a Pal Pad to get back some of our supporters since there's only a handful of them in the deck. And we decided to go with Secret Box as our ace spec in this deck. I've seen Unfair Stamp used a lot as well, and that's very effective, but I found Secret Box really helpful to make sure I could get my TM Evo or a certain supporter card, or just kind of get all of the pieces I needed early on in the game. So if I can use an Arven to grab a Secret Box and a tool, then I'm able to grab 2 tools throughout the turn and pretty much everything else I need for a really good setup. So I struggled a little bit with the setup in this deck. I don't sequence everything perfectly all the time, and Secret Box can make up for that every once in a while. We also have a Super Rod in the deck, so if your one-ofs again get knocked out, you can either use a Night Stretcher or you can Super Rod them back into the deck and then get them again with Buddy Buddy Poffin or with a Stadium later on. We have 2 Ultra Ball in the deck to be able to find those bigger Pokemon like Gardevoir EX, or really anything you need if you want to discard some energy. Ultra Ball is perfect for that. We have Artazon, again, to get any basic Pokemon out, so if you can Super Rod your Drifloon back into the deck and then get it right back out with Artazon, that's super helpful to kind of chain a couple Drifloon attacks in a row. We have 2 Arven in here so we can grab our tools as well as a couple items, so that's great for setup, and then 1 Boss's Orders. We also have 1 Professor Turo in this deck, and I think the more common use case is if your opponent puts some damage on the board and you want to just pick up your Pokemon so you don't get it knocked out. That's one way to use it, but I think it was the person that won San Antonio Regionals recently used Professor Turo in a pretty creative way on like his 2nd or 3rd turn of the game. He only had 1 Kirlia set up and 1 Ralts, so he used Kirlia's Refinement to draw a card, used Professor Turo on it, and then put that Kirlia right back down on the next Ralts, and was able to draw some more cards in that way. So there's a creative way you can use Professor Turo. And then there's Professor's Research, and I actually tried to go without Professor's Research. I think this is going to be essential to using the deck in the future after rotation, because we won't have Kirlia to discard cards anymore, so we'll have to rely more on Professor's Research, but I really needed this for consistency. I found myself kind of bricking a lot on my first couple of hands and getting stuck, but having Professor's Research in here allows you to draw a completely new hand. Even if you have to get rid of some cards that you would really like to keep, at least you get a full new hand and you can keep moving forward in those earlier turns. We have 2 Bravery Charm in this deck so that we can enhance both Drifloon and Screamtail's attacks. And then 1 TM Evo. I've seen some people use 2 TM Evos because it's so helpful to have in the beginning of the game. They want to make sure you don't prize it. I've been able to get away with 1 outside of 1 or 2 games, but that's also a choice if you want to add a 2nd TM Evo. For energy, we have 8 Psychic and 3 Dark, which seems to be enough to get 1 energy on a Munkidori, or maybe 2, and then plenty of energy to discard and put back on your Pokemon using Gardevoir EX. So from here, we will jump into a game and see how we can do with it. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe on the video. We had a very good hand there, but no basic Pokemon, so we had to lose it. And we'll go with this 1 Ralts here. We have an Iono. I mean, 2 Kirlia doesn't do too much for us on this first turn. We can attach an energy just in case we can retreat to discard it, or if it gets knocked out. But yeah, other than that, we might need to use Iono to hopefully get to a way to put down some more Pokemon, 1, and 2, maybe get to a TM Evo on our first turn, which is also why I like going second. I like to be the first person to either be able to Budew or to use a TM Evo or something. I think it helps with the setup. I don't know if going second with this deck is always right, but that's what I like. But yeah, it seems like we have some kind of Eevee and Sylveon deck so far. Everyone is all hyped about Prismatic Evolution, so I've been seeing the Eevees a lot. Okay, 3 Kirlia is not what we need, so I think we'll just go ahead and attach. We can always retreat that if we need an extra energy in the discard pile. We'll Iono here. Another Ralts. Secret Box is good. Okay, this is a good hand. We'll Buddy Poffin, and since we have some Ralts down, we'll grab our Budew as well. And then we'll definitely, do we retreat? No, I think with Secret Box we can get to our TM Evo. So we'll start there. And then I think energy's going to be a focus as well. Yeah, we can do that. We don't have anything else to discard for this Earthen Vessel. So I think, yeah, we have 2 Artazon, so we can discard 1 of those and then still have an Artazon for later. And then I guess Arven for a future turn. Okay, so we'll get some energy going here. We'll need to discard energy. Hopefully we get to keep our hand, and we can use Kirlia's Refinement on our next turn to discard these 2 energies. But for now, we'll evolve. A lot of the times while I was learning to play this deck, I would push Budew here because I was too eager to lock my opponent out from using their items, but you definitely want to prioritize your own setup here so you don't put yourself behind as well. We have just the one energy in the discard pile. So yeah, we'll definitely need to do some more energy discarding to be able to do anything in our next turn. So yeah, Arven can get us an Ultra Ball, and we can discard those energies to get a Gardevoir, or we can use Refinement to discard those energies and draw some more cards first, which is probably what we should do first. Ooh, an energy on Fezandipity means maybe I need to find Manaphy. But also Charizard is on the way. I know Charizard has been a problem for this deck in the past because we're weak to dark. So we'll want to make sure we push our single prizers here. And Sylveon, okay, no damage by Pokemon EX, so we'll need to use either a Drifloon or a Screamtail to knock out Sylveon here in the active. But they're also, is that a Fido? Wow, I don't ever see Fido used. Or what is Fido's evolution? The Cinnabon? Anyways, we'll use Refinement here. Okay, just a Ralts. Professor Turo, Buddy Poffin, Counter Catcher. Okay, so from here, I think we go with Arven. So I want to get to a Gardevoir, but first I need to take care of this Fezandipity attack. There's no Screamtail though, so we'll go... Oh, I guess you can't get Screamtail with Buddy Poffin. Whoops, nope. I do need Manaphy. I thought I already clicked it. But yeah, we'll get Drifloon here. Yeah, 100 damage. I just wanted to make sure that was an attack and not just placing damage counters. So Manaphy will stop Fezandipity in case they wanted to do that. So now we'll Arven. And I think we'll have to get Bravery Charm too, but we'll grab our Ultra Ball, Bravery Charm. So we can set up this Drifloon to take out the Sylveon early on, which maybe isn't the best trade. Maybe we don't use our Drifloon quite yet. We'll definitely go for our Gardevoir. Yeah, I don't think they're doing too much damage with Sylveon at the moment. I just wanted to discard that energy so we can use it in the future. Maybe I should have just left that forward. But yeah, I think we put down our Gardevoir. I'm trying to decide if I want to use this Drifloon. I guess I don't have a choice anymore because I already retreated. So yeah, we'll just attach our Bravery Charm to it in case they Iono us. And then I don't want to give them a 2-prizer now that I think about it, to be able to boss up with a Charizard. So we're going to leave Gardevoir on the bench until we need to use it. Yeah, because if I used Drifloon on that first turn and knocked out their Sylveon, they would have a counter catcher and this Charizard play to take out our Gardevoir, or one of the Kirlia anyway. So maybe I didn't need to retreat. No, I think it's good that I retreated to discard that energy on the last turn, because that means I can retreat on this current turn when I have a Gardevoir in the active. So I think it's fine. We'll see. So they'll get their Charizard going here. Oh, do they not know about Manaphy? This is like, yeah, they don't. I think this is going to get blocked. Yep. Oops. There's actually a play, we'll give them a little thumbs up for that. There's a play again at San Antonio Regionals, I keep bringing this up, where the guy that plays Pidgeot Control like wiggled one of the Pokemon on the bench to try and get Fezandipity to aim for it when it couldn't get taken out, which was funny. But anyways, we'll quit yapping. I think we want to, do we Refinement first? And if so, what do we toss? Or do we just, yeah, we'll Refinement before we Gardevoir. I think Turo is less needed at the current moment. I don't like tossing it, but we'll go ahead and get another Refinement. Our bench is pretty full at the moment, so this Nest Ball can go. Okay, another Bravery Charm and Heavy Ball. I would love to have a Munkidori down at this point, because if I had Munkidori, I could move some of the damage off of this Gardevoir when I put it on, but I don't have one at the moment. I'm sure something will get taken out soon. I think right now I'm being very indecisive about this. I think what I need to do is just go into the Drifloon play here. We'll take in a 2-prizer, so if Charizard comes back and knocks out our Gardevoir in some way, it's a fine trade because they'll still have to deal with Drifloon. So that's the good thing about this deck is even though I'm weak to Charizard, and it doesn't matter how much damage I put on my own Gardevoir here because it's a one-hit KO by Charizard anyways, they kind of have to address this Drifloon, this single prizer. Otherwise it just sits here and continues to do, 240, 300 damage, whatever it ends up being. So we'll go ahead and put our damage counters. And this part, the way this is done in the UI of the game is so slow. I wish I could just choose click the number of energy I wanted to do at once and then to just apply all of the damage at once, but instead you have to do one at a time. And that's enough. So I think we're gonna leave it there just so a single, a smaller attack isn't able to take me out. But yeah, that's enough for now. I'm trying to see how much Charizard or Charmander does up there in case they could put a single prizer forward and knock out our Drifloon. Okay, here comes the Charizard now. Let's see, just 1 energy in the discard plus these 4 on the board. So yeah, my assumption here is they're going to try and get to Gardevoir, in which case I just have to find one more Gardevoir to put on a Kirlia, and then a Munkidori with this basic energy would allow me to take out Charizard with Drifloon, or they can just take out the Drifloon and we can potentially set it up again with Night Stretcher. They got their Pheasantipity back though. Cyrano. He was kind of strange in the DLC. Okay, a Mew is another possible target in the future if we have a Munkidori. And what does Dash Bun do? Okay, you can heal all the energy or all the damage, which doesn't really matter. And they went with the Drifloon. Okay. So we definitely push forward Gardevoir. Just because, again, the damage on this Gardevoir doesn't matter. It's a one-hit KO either way. We'll see what we can draw here, but we do have a Night Stretcher in hand. Flutter Mane, another Buddy Poffin. It's fine, we'll keep tossing them. Screamtail. Screamtail's not a bad option. Seeing that I can't get a Munkidori down as well. Okay, nothing in the prize cards, which is surprising. Heavy Ball is almost always able to find something. But yeah, Munkidori here would be awesome. Or if I had a Professor Turo that I tossed earlier and I don't have a Pal Pad. I just need more space on my bench. The Budew is really clogging us up here and we didn't really use it. So I guess we go with a Screamtail play here. Because again, we could... I think we Screamtail without the Bravery Charm and leave our Drifloon for a future play. Because it's in our hand and we won't be able to take out the Charizard without Munkidori. So I think we just put some damage down for now with Screamtail, which puts a single prizer forward. I'm not really worried about that. Sylveon. And then again, we can't completely take out that Mew unless we have a Munkidori down. So the lack of Munkidori here is really hurting us, because otherwise we'd be able to take out several things here. But I think I want to save our last Bravery Charm for one big knockout on Charizard once we have a Munkidori down, which is why we're doing Screamtail right now. And then also putting 160 damage down on this Charizard puts it in range to be knocked out by Gardevoir. maybe to end the game. So yeah, I think we're just gonna go with some damage counters here on Screamtail, so that way we're limiting what they're able to come back with in their next turn. I feel like worst case scenario, I just leave the Gardevoir forward and then they knock it out. So we'll make them spend something at least to take that knockout. Otherwise they have to take care of Screamtail. So Roaring Scream. Again, just hoping to set up for maybe a final turn here. Yeah, if they knock out Screamtail, we're back to even prize cards, and then we have some solid damage on the board. I would just really like to get to a Munkidori. They have an Arven, probably for a second Charizard here. Which is okay. I mean, if they want to move that Charizard back to the bench, which, yeah, it looks like that's what they're going to do. We'll address it later. Just got to find a way to pick up something else up off of our bench. I am kind of happy they don't have like a Dusknoir in this deck, because that would make things much tougher. If they could snipe something off of our bench and take extra prize cards that way, but we're not really threatened too much by the deck they're using, just whatever's in our active. Okay, there goes Screamtail. We'll go with Gardevoir pushed forward here once again. See what we can get to. Another Night Stretcher. All right, we'll see. Okay, with 4 prize cards remaining for each of us. Oh, Munkidori, finally. Okay. But I can't put down both Munkidori and Drifloon. Okay, so I'm thinking of doing the damage now with sorry, I'm like processing in my head here. But I think Drifloon is going to do 300 damage here now on Charizard, and then we're set up to take 4 prize cards on a future turn. So we'll just be 1 Munkidori away, but since we're a little bit limited into what we can put down on the board right now, I think that's what we're going to do. Because we have Bravery Charm in hand now. I suppose if they Iono us, then all of this goes away, and we'll just have to hope we can get to it with Refinement. Get back to this Munkidori with a Dark Energy. So we'll grab Drifloon. We'll have a backup Gardevoir, just in case they decide to boss up this Gardevoir and Iono us or something and we lose it. So again, I don't think it's too threatened at the moment by having 2. That does give us 1 less Refinement, but I just don't want to lose it. Okay, but from here, we'll get Gardevoir out of the way. And we have 5 energy in the discard pile, which is perfect. It's exactly the number we need. We are piling up, we are piling up the damage on our Gardevoir, but in this matchup, again, doesn't really matter how much damage is on Gardevoir because it's a 1-hit KO from Charizard either way. We'll use this one, Psychic Embrace, so it can get in the game here a little bit. We'll put our 5 energy here. And then, yeah, so on our next turn, we have 2 Gardevoir down, so if they knock 1 out, we still have 1 left. And then if we can keep our hand, we'll still have Munkidori to be able to take out this Charizard in front of us. So this should put us in just about a checkmate kind of situation. We'll also be able to counter catcher, because if they take any prize cards here, then we're behind in prize cards. So we have the counter catcher, Munkidori play, really no matter what they take out here. So let's see if my thoughts are correct here. They're going to go with Dash Bund. Which again is fine. If they just use this to take out Drifloon, then that's about it. Cool. All right, so now we have our choice of Gardevoir, and we'll have an extra space on our bench. Another Psychic Energy, we'll go Munkidori and Dark Energy. And then perfect, so we have Counter Catcher, we can put a couple damage counters there and retreat it. We can Adrenabrain to take out on the bench here. And then take our prize cards. Oh no.
It was at this moment that he knew.
Oh, I did that wrong. Okay, well, let's see if we can find boss's orders, because I had a win right there with Counter Catcher. But my sequence, I got way too excited to use Munkidori finally. Oh, that's awful. I mean, again, they're not threatening with like a Dusknoir or something, so we still should have a turn after this one. But we either need to find boss's orders, which I don't think I've discarded. No, so it's in the deck somewhere. But yeah, if we Professor's Research, we can't use boss's orders, and we have Counter Catcher in our hand. Oh, that's awful. I can't believe I messed that up. Yeah, as you can see, still learning how to use the deck, using too much brain power, I guess. Oh, this is so annoying. I have to wait for this stupid animation because I messed up. All right, so anyways, we'll just put a little bit of damage down here so that we can just knock out Dash Bund for the win. If they don't knock anything out, or if they knock a single prizer out, but we still should be okay, but the game should be over right now. I'm kicking myself for being so excited about Munkidori. So yeah, now we either just attack Dash Bund with our other Gardevoir, or we Counter Catcher for something else if needed, if they retreat into something we can't knock out. I mean, we can take out Pheasantipity with Munkidori, or Mew, or Dash Bund, or Charizard, so... Man, I can't believe I did that. That would be annoying if they just put forward this Charmander. Okay, they're going to take 2 more prize cards with Charizard, I guess, and then win the game. But man, made that longer than it needed to be. Cool, but hopefully, I mean, we got to use a good number of cards from this deck. I didn't really use Midnight Fluttering at all, which maybe I could have in some capacity. Oh, and there's boss's orders. But we got to use a little bit of Drifloon. I really wish I could have had Munkidori now to take out like one big knockout with Munkidori and Drifloon. Did a little bit of Scream Tail to distribute some damage around. But yeah, if they had like a Squawkabilly or something like that, I could just take it out. Or, you know, if you use Munkidori, put 2 damage counters on Mew there. Or, you know, I think Scream Tail can actually do up to 200 if you put the Bravery Charm on it. I usually save it for the Drifloon, but it can also go on that Scream Tail to do even more damage, so we could use Munkidori and that to take out the Pheasantipity, but we got there eventually. So that's Gardevoir EX, clearly a very powerful deck and something that I think will be around for a while, so we should probably get used to it. If you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. I think some crazy number like 97% of people that watch these videos aren't subscribed, so if you're one of the few that makes it to the end, please consider subscribing, and also comment something about, we'll go with Eevee here if I can point in the right direction. What's your favorite evolution from Prismatic Evolutions? Comment something about Eevee if you made it this far, and otherwise we'll see you in the next one. You're still here? It's over. Go watch another video. Go.